everybody, thanks for watching my channel. My name is Lena, founder of Jaded Nutrition. Today's topic is all about carbs. Lots of people are either for eating carbs, lots of people are against eating carbs. I want to talk to you about some common misconceptions we have about carbs, the best ones to incorporate in our diet, and also the role that carbohydrates play. So, as you know, I am not a fan of extreme diets. I don't believe in cutting out full classes of foods or cutting out one macronutrient in particular. 3 macronutrients are fats, proteins, and carbs. Those macronutrients are essential for life. We need all of them to thrive, to have a healthy, thriving body. So when we cut out a full class of macronutrients, say when we cut out carbs, because that's what this video is about, ultimately it's not going to be a sustainable approach to eating, and we might lose a lot of weight, but we're going to gain it back and then some when we go back to eating carbs. So what are carbs? Carbs are not just cakes and breads and pasta. Carbs are also fruits and vegetables. Nuts have carbs. Anything other than meat or fat has carbs. So when you say that you're cutting out carbs, just know that vegetables are all made up of carbs. So it's really important to consume carbs in our diet. First and foremost, they turn to glucose in our body, and glucose is used for immediate energy. Every cell in our body thrives off of glucose. Now, I know people that follow low carb diets could argue against, well, when your body has a lack of carbs, it will convert its energy from fat and produce ketone bodies. That's not what I'm talking about right now. Carbs are really, really important, and they've gotten a really bad rap, unfortunately, because when we took fat out of food, we replaced it with sugar. And this is really what's causing our obesity epidemic. It wasn't fat that was making us fat, it's sugar that's making us fat. Now, sugar is the one carb where we really need to be mindful of. Fructose in particular, the sweet part of sugar, is responsible for a lot of damage inside of the body. So to say all carbs are bad is not fair, because it's one carb in particular, and that's fructose. That is also found in fruit, but fruit comes with fiber. It comes with vitamins and minerals and nutrients. Nature knew exactly what it was doing when it put fructose in there. Now, fructose was always hard to get. It was hard to obtain. Honey, you had to climb trees and get into beehives. Fruit, you would have to climb trees, other than things like berries, which are lower in sugar. Again, fruit has fiber. Nature knew what it was doing. Now we have full access to sugar and quick sugar. We've processed it, we've refined it, and it goes straight into our cells the moment that we consume it. No fiber. And this wreaks havoc on our body. So I think carbs have really gotten a bad rap because of the processing that we've put them through. Any kind of white carbs, white bread, white pasta, all of those things have been processed and stripped of their nutrients. So it isn't carbs inherently that are bad, it's their processed counterparts that are less optimal for your health. So what are the best carbs to consume? Well, of course, I already talked about fruits and vegetables in abundance, as many of them as you could possibly handle. Again, I said in one of my other videos, no one got fat eating fruit. Now, if all you're doing is eating fruit and you're trying to lose weight, or maybe you're struggling with diabetes, that's also not going to be wise for you to do either. You need to really balance your sugar intake. Again, those things still have fiber. So berries are a really, really good option, any kind of berry, because they're lower in sugar than all the rest of fruit. I personally have maybe 2 servings of fruit a day, but I eat lots and lots of vegetables. What other carbs are good to consume? Any kind of whole grain, rice, quinoa, buckwheat, barley, anything that's in its whole form. You want to make sure that the whole grain is intact. It hasn't been stripped of its vital nutrients. Now, of course, when you're eating grains, the best kind of grains to consume are either sprouted, and if you can't get sprouted, to soak your grains overnight, because this decreases the amount of phytates that they have, which can sometimes block other nutrients from absorbing in our body. So we have fruit, vegetables, whole grains. What else is a carb that is really healthy for us to consume? Beans, nuts, legumes. Again, if you're soaking your own beans, soaking them overnight. Some people have a really hard time digesting beans. Most people have a hard time digesting beans. So making sure that when you cook your beans, you're also cooking it with a small piece of seaweed, like that big. I use kombu, and I will soak my beans overnight for 8 hours. I'll get up and I'll put them in the crock pot on high for 4 hours with a piece of seaweed, and that really helps. So that seaweed's going to help your body digest beans better. Beans have lots of protein, but they also have a lot of carbs as well. As you can see, not all carbs are as evil as some people make them out to be. There's a whole school of thought about limiting the insulin response that goes on inside of our body. And that's true, but again, that insulin response when you eat carbohydrates is going to depend on the amount of fiber that it contains. I talked about in another video, 1 cup of almonds to 1 can of soda is going to respond very differently inside of your body, because almonds have healthy fat, they have fiber, and the soda has nothing. It just has sugar. So the more fiber that we can consume, the better. In fact, one of my favorite speakers and authors, Dr. Robert Lustig, talks about fiber being the other half of the weight loss antidote. And fiber is really, really what we need to focus on. It helps with so many different things. It helps us to feel fuller longer. It helps with insulin resistance. It helps with bowel regularity. It helps with so many different things. So if you're eating fruits and vegetables, making sure that you're eating them in their whole form, because whenever we juice fruit or juice vegetables, we take the fiber out and we're getting a straight hit of fructose. Unfortunately, smoothies are like this too. Now, I consume smoothies, but I put a really, really minimal amount of fruit in them, because when the blade spins up the fruit, it breaks down the cellulose and it breaks down the fiber. So again, smoothies sound like a really good idea, but if you're loading them with fruit, you're not getting that essential fiber that you need unless you add other things like chia or flax or oats or whatever to your smoothie. You're not getting the essential fiber that you need, and you're just getting a straight hit of fructose. Fructose is the main carbohydrate we need to look out for, and it's the main carbohydrate that puts weight on. If you're looking to lose weight or maintain your health, then sugar is where you need to look. It's not all carbs, it's processed carbs, and it's one carb in particular, and that's fructose. So making sure that you cut out all white breads or white grains, any grains that have been stripped of their nutrients, white bread, white pasta, white rice, those things are going to be much better to not consume. And consuming lots of whole grains, beans, fruit, vegetables, nuts, that is the basis for a healthy carb intake. So I know lots of you watching this video are really going to have a strong opinion on a low carb diet, but I want to be really transparent with you. I've done the low carb thing and I've lost a lot of weight, and I felt like crap the whole time, and I put it all back on. If you're a person that can sustain that low carb diet and not go on your cheat day or on the weekend and you just end up binging on carbs, then maybe, fill your boots. But most people aren't like that. And most people who do follow a low carb diet end up binging on carbs. I'm going to tell you right now, I used to be terrified of eating carbs, terrified of eating them. And when I started incorporating them into my diet and allowing myself to eat those whole foods that we've evolved to eat over thousands and thousands of years, I never want to binge. I never feel like overindulging. I just let myself enjoy this whole myth about the low carb diet because Atkins pushed it on celebrities and celebrities lost a lot of weight, and you will lose a lot of weight by following an extremely low carb diet. I promise you will, and I promise you won't feel good and you'll put it all back and you'll be coming right back to me. So I want to encourage you to view food in a healthy way, to not cut out any one particular macronutrient. Fat is extremely important. Protein is extremely important, and carbohydrates are extremely important. All three are needed for optimal health. Please don't go down a path of extremism because it's not going to work. I'm a part of the no diet movement. I don't coach any of my clients to diet, and I don't diet myself. And I have the body that I want, the energy that I want, and the health that I want. Please let me know your thoughts, what you think. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jaded Nutrition. Leave me a comment below, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.